We have, well, we've been talking a lot on the B2B front, haven't we? And now we have a consumer brand that many of us love. In fact, in Singapore, when bubble tea was kind of shut down for a few weeks, a lot of people were in actual despair. So be very happy to know that our final speaker for today is Stephanie. And Stephanie actually heads up the global business development of Happy Lemon, one of the world's largest bubble tea chain operating more than 1,200 stores worldwide. Stephanie herself led the growth of Happy Lemon's locations in the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia. For those of you that don't know, Happy Lemon is headquartered in Taiwan, but they're certainly a global company. And in recent times, Stephanie has been spearheading the expansion across the US in key cities like Seattle, Las Vegas, Cupertino, Denver, and beyond. And as we can all imagine, COVID-19 severely disrupted their business on all fronts. So we're really glad to hear from Stephanie today on her perspective from the central leadership team, as well as in dealing with business continuity and ensuring the safety of her staff on the front line and their partners, and how she foresees innovation moving forward. So once again, Stephanie will be speaking for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll open it up for a Q&A. So do start populating the Q&A chats. Over to you, Stephanie. We are so happy that you could join us today.
Hi, Romy. Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Grills and very happy to be here. Please let me spend some time to upload my file, but I feel it's a little bit, it seems that it blocked it. Okay, let me see.
All right, well, we're figuring out and we're giving permissions.
Yeah, let me figure out.
All right. I think while we are doing that, let us maybe think about some of the questions we have from a bubble tea perspective. How would a bubble tea company be impacted when you can no longer be in touch with your customers? When logistics and supply chain is going to be an issue. How does that impact the franchise model, for example? And how do you not just cope? Because I think we all know that COVID has changed the way we do business for the future. So let's hear from Stephanie. How?
Hi. Can you read the profile? Is it on?
Yes, it's on, Stephanie. Could you press the display at the bottom right, please? You know, the projector screen icon, so we can see it in full. Or you can go to slideshow. And
it seems that
if you go to
I'm already on the screen sharing.
Yes, you are. We can see your screen, but for us to see everything, could you go to left, move your cursor left? Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay. Happy to join everybody today. It's my pleasure to join this discussion panel. I think I would like to spend a little bit time for a brief introduction of myself and for the company I work for currently. Actually, I used to be the journalist for 17 years. And now I work for Yamintang Group. I was actually the TVBS reporter and TV host for like 10 years. Then I currently work as Vice President of Global Business Development for Yamintang Group. And today, as what Romy just shared with you, I would like to share about our story of we handle of the COVID-19 pandemic crisis and what the leadership team expected what will be the future for the next. And Yamintang Group actually is a food and beverage business company. Our main business is bubble tea. Actually, we are the pioneer who brought the bubble tea culture to mainland China and Hong Kong. And we actually also the original creator, inventor of rock salt cheese tea. Many of you perhaps tasted already. Actually, it was invented by Yamintang. And nowadays, rock salt cheese tea is very popular around the world by many young people. And Yamintang Group is actually was listed on Taiwan Stock Exchange market back to 2014. We started all the business in China and then we expand globally. And so far we have, in terms of our global expansion, so far we have 1,200 shops around the world. But among those 1,000 shops, 90% of them were in China. Now I would like to share very short video clips that you can help everybody to understand Happy Lemon more and all those places that where the Happy Lemon store locates. So as you may see from the video clips, actually around the world, from America, from Europe, Asia, Asian country, and Middle East, and China, all you can see the Happy Lemon stores everywhere. We deliver a healthy drink and happiness to everyone and everywhere. And actually each year, Happy Lemon sells nearly 100 million cups of drinks. Imagine that, the cups, if we pile up the cups, then the height of the cups is equivalent of 1,800 Himalayas. It is really a very good business and very fruitful years for us in the past. But what happened now after the pandemic crisis? And I would like to share the number with you. 86.6%, almost 90%. This number is not the sales growth number. Actually, this is the number that the stores we were shut down during the pandemic crisis. Almost 90% of our stores shut down. For us, it was just like we were hit by the polar storms. All our business activities, all the events were immediately frozen, shut down. We cannot do anything. And all our sales immediately dropped over like more than 80%. So the pandemic crisis actually slashed our operating income around $2 million in Q1. So for our leadership team, we need to have a very quick response, and we need to take action to tackle the crisis. So what we should do, especially we need to follow the lockdown guideline and also the social distancing. So what we do is we need to modify our customer service model and also our operating model. So from this slide, I would like to share some of the numbers to you. In February, especially the worst time in China, we have almost 90% of the stores shut down. And after we modify our operating model and service model, luckily, hopefully, and actually we reopen our business around 60% of the stores. And in April and May, we actually reopen our business around 90%, over 90%. What we do is we do actually modify our operating models and to follow the social distancing guidelines and the lockdown guideline of the city. What we do is actually we integrate our online order and digital pay to our operating model. And also actually when we open gradually from the reopen the business, we've been put lots of effort to focus on to maintain the environment, the safe environment for our staffs and also for the customers. Yeah. What we do because the safety environment and also our staff and customer safety is our first priority. For maybe lots of you would like to know that how we actually do to modify our operating model. I would like to share one of the video that is how exactly what we do until now. We are still doing this every day to modify this operating model and service model. So from video clips, you can see that we do the temperature check every day for all the customers when they get into the store. And we make sure that each person, no matter if staffs or the customers, keep social distancing. And we use the online payment, online ordering. We use the mini program to that the customers to order their drinks and then to pay the order, then to ensure that the whole process is non-contact service. This is from the our operation model modified. And also from the operation side, I would like to also share this video clip with you. We have to make sure every day and every 2 hours that our store is clean enough and sanitized enough, because that's the way we protect our staff and also our customers. And during the pandemic time, we actually switch all our stores, as many as possible, into to-go mode and online delivery. So after we switch all the models and we check our database, and we found that the online and to-go order increased like 50%, and average sales of single store for online delivery orders increased 13%. So this is actually the number that in China. So when the outbreak started in US and globally from mid-March, we immediately shipped all the dine-in stores in US into to-go and online orders model mode, and to keep around 60% stores open during the worst period of time. And nowadays, people were thinking about what would be the next. We've heard a lot of people talking about the new normal. And what would be the new normal? To be honest, I don't know. I don't think that there's anybody would know that what would be the new normal, because it's not happened yet. But I believe that based on our current scenario, and we can catch and also imagine what would be the possible trend. And even I think when the pandemic is cooling down or the pandemic is under control, I believe that it will not return to the old way of doing things anymore. And the company, especially like our food and beverage, and we are on the front line to deal with the customers every day. The customers, for us, we have to survive. And who can be the survivor? And I think that will be defined by their ability to balance resilience and adaptability. And we need to prepare for the long-term impact and prepare for the future. So what would be the next? In terms of the brand growth, I think this pandemic crisis really speed up the to-go and pick up mode, and also to speed up the development of cloud kitchen and digital payment. We have already have benefit from that. Actually, prior to the pandemic outbreak crisis, our company, Yumingtown, already developed the whole system of non-contact service. We did not know back then the crisis would come, but when it did happen, because we already put lots of effort on the development of the system, so it did help us to switch all our model into the online and to-go non-contact service very quick. So I would like to share one of the video clips to show you that the non-contact system we have developed. This is actually the robot milk tea shop, and it is the first smart shop in the world, and also in China too. So from making a tea to order and then to deliver to our customer, there's completely from the machine and no contact with the people directly. So we developed the self pickup and the online order app mini program prior to the pandemic crisis. And after this crisis, we realized that it did speed up all those functions we use every day. So after this crisis, I think the technology really helped for us to have a better experience for our customers and to our staff. And talking about the brand growth, that there's one key is very important is the infrastructure. Infrastructure is the key for the brand growth. And the global lockdown definitely resulted in less globalization. We need local supply chain suppliers for the raw materials and for the equipment more than before. And then in order to maintain the sustainability and localization, we adapted the big data technology to our supply chain strategy. Then I also would like to share you the latest big data strategy, big data technology we use to you. And this technology is called profile print. We use the profile print as a kind of sourcing bridge for our for our procurement team. Actually, it was used to customize Happy Lemon Blend tea. Let me show you the video, then you can understand more how this equipment work. Actually, this profile print is equipment to diagnose the tea itself. So it can actually diagnose lots of data regarding to its taste and also its flavor. So it helps our procurement team can actually using those data to find the equivalent raw materials, which have a lower cost, and also it saves the process of the sourcing. And also it help our R&D team by using those data to do the new product development. So as you can see, when we get the tea leaves, this equipment can actually do the analysis to diagnose the tea leaves smell and its taste and its flavor. We believe that by using the technology, we can bring the customers a better experience of the consuming the process. For a very long time, food and beverage business, we are focusing on trying to create the warm and welcoming environment for our customers to like socialize with friends and to get together to connect with people. And even lots of restaurants or cafe or bubble tea, they invest a lot of money to set up the fancy restaurants, fancy environment for the young people to take photos in order to share to the social media. And after this pandemic crisis, we do think that people still longing for that, but it will take time for people to feel comfortable again. People were still expecting that they can have spaces that they can share and congregate with their friends. But we do believe that in the future, people will expect more on the experiences of whole consuming the process, because all this pandemic crisis has already, it will definitely change the people's consuming behavior. And I do believe that this is a very good opportunity for the bubble tea to go style and online delivering style mode type restaurant rather than the traditional restaurant. Because for this type of to-go and online delivery store, the investment is lighter than the traditional one. So this pandemic crisis will speed up the development of those pickup or online delivery and cloud kitchen type of business. And also the people after this, people will be aware of the healthy and the trend of the product. So that would be also the R&D direction for our new drinks. That's all for today. Hey, Romy.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. So you're done with the presentation for now, yes?
Yeah.
That's lovely. That's a lot of information you have given us. And I love how you have, because I think all of us can relate to bubble tea companies. And I think it's wonderful how you showed us almost step by step. It felt like going through a movie blockbuster. You know, we see the massive drop, and then we see how you built it back up stronger than before again. So I did have a few questions before we invite questions through the public Q&A function. So the Q&A function is open. Please key in your questions. Stephanie, my first question for you is, you know, you in a way you were quite lucky. You had already invested in the contactless infrastructure and technology. But I wonder, when you were implementing some of these other changes, what other infrastructure did you realize you ended up needing? And what would be your encouragement to people, business owners listening in, who may not have made those investments in key digital infrastructure yet, like you have?
Yes, actually, we're still in a crisis. And to be honest, we still have around like 10 to 20% of store is not reopened yet. So we learn from the market. There are lots of our store owners pass this message to us. They want to have something that they can do it for themselves because they cannot go out. This is actually, we did not expect it before. So nowadays our R&D teams started to trying to develop the stuff that they can sell it online, and then the people can actually purchase online, then they can do it at home for themselves. So that's the new for us. And as you mentioned about that, yes, we are very lucky because prior to this pandemic crisis, we already invested to build up the system. But it was really concept system. It's not mature yet. Right. So now what we can do is that we will base on the system and try to adjust it to the current scenario to fit the more, it's more like it's really can practical use in our daily selling. Take this for example, like the robot machine. And we feel that it would be better if the robot machine can actually do the process of in the kitchen, because we have the two kitchen. The kitchen is the shaking kitchen, and the other kitchen is like semi-product kitchen. We do a semi-product. The semi-product is still the manual process. So nowadays we're trying to develop the manual system to be more like auto. That is important because we realize that there are lots of our staffs cannot go to work because of the lockdown. Even though we can reopen the business, we found no people can work. Yeah.
You know, Stephanie, I was wondering, what is really, let's probe a bit deeper. What is the secret to your success going from in February 86.6% shutdown to in 2-3 months time 90% reopening? Could you share a bit more about what enabled you from a management point of view or operations point of view to reopen safely and so swiftly?
I think that is one character that is very different from bubble tea business than other restaurants, because we are easily to switch the mode to go mode.
Mm.
And lots of people, they consuming teas. They don't really, it's for, it's easier for them, like they don't really have to dine in. People want to have the drink, but they don't really have to go to the stores. They can do the online ordering, especially in China, it's very popular. We don't really have to open the store in order to welcome the customers. We can actually have invisible kitchen, office kitchen.
Right.
Then we don't really need to open the door to welcome the customers. We make the tea in the room in a safer place. Then our customers just order online through the mini program, and then we do the delivery. That's how we can reopen. So reopen does not mean that we do reopen the store, but we do reopen the business. But the invisible, it's not a physical store, is that I mentioned about the cloud kitchen.
That's right.
So I think we can explore more about the cloud kitchen before, in the future. I think that would be the trend.
Share a bit more with us, Stephanie. How does this emergence of cloud or central kitchens impact your franchise model, for example? And I'm sure your customers may love it, but what about your franchise partners? How are they responding to this new model? And how do you ensure that the Happy Lemon experience is consistent across delivery partners, franchise partners, and of course, your central cloud kitchen ordering experience?
This actually, this cloud kitchen is on the infant stage in China. And also I believe that there's an infant stage in other countries too. We have this platform and also we have the cloud kitchen, but the cloud kitchen is not really like spreading out everywhere. Then, so actually we coordinate with our franchise store. They can be our invisible kitchen. We have this cloud kitchen platform we order, and perhaps you were like the kitchen, the order was 1,000 meters away, but like you are in a city, right? You are in the A spot and the other one in the C spot. And the cloud kitchen is actually a C spot. And what if there's a customer at C spot, they have order, but the C spot, there is no cloud kitchen. And our franchisee, the franchise store, they can help. So we share the order. That's how we do, but we are not really figure out, we are not really have come out this mature function yet.
Sounds a little bit like, dispatching taxis almost. You dispatch the ones closest to fulfill that customer demand.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I'm sure we'll see this mature because all of us are learning on the job with all these new technologies. Now, I think some people in the chat are probably your supporters or love bubble tea in general. There are two related questions from Machi Machi asking, how would you feel about the bubble tea market as it is getting very saturated? So a related question, therefore, is how does Happy Lemon differentiate yourself from the sea of competitors out there?
I think Happy Lemon is very different than other brands in terms of the development, the time. As we know that the bubble tea is popular in these 2 years. But most of the brand of the bubble tea brand, their life cycle is only like 2 or 3 years. And then it's gone. It's like the waves, die on the waves. But Happy Lemon already has, this brand started back to 2008. Yeah, and and this company, Yumingtown, we actually have tea brand. Not only Happy Lemon, we also have Tea Opal and also have another RPT like tea restaurant. We started this business actually back to 1991. And it's not the first crisis we experienced. We also experienced SARS. Then, so we survived back to SARS and to now. So it's not like the new brand, the currently new brand we probably will have in the world. We survived through different kind of crisis, and then which means that we actually can respond it very fast. And we have, our products is really popular by the people, and we are very innovative on our product. So that's make us different.
Mm. Well, Stephanie, I had two follow-up questions on that. Firstly, tell us a bit more about, again, how do you ensure that Happy Lemon is not just a passing fad, like you say? So on the product innovation side, how do you always stay appealing to new generations of consumers? And then on the second part, I was hoping you could share more about from the restaurant perspective, because you say Happy Lemon also operates, or rather, Yummy Town operates restaurants. Can you share a bit more from that perspective of COVID and how you've innovated since? So first on product innovation and staying relevant to new customers.
I think it has to come to our three core value: good product, good service, and the talent, the good talent people. The good product means actually the Yummy Town is quite innovative. We have a very strong R&D team. So in currently lots of popular product in the bubble tea, such like the cake tea and rock salt cheese tea. All you can see are originally invented by Happy Lemon and by the Yummy Town, our R&D team. So we have very strong tea than others. That's why we can maintain the brand to be fresh from time to time. And we also have this tea college, tea university, to train our people, to build up our management skills for the staffs, and also the knowledge of the tea for our trainers and our management team. We really focus on the tea itself. That's the other point, and also in terms of the service, we are not only focused on the service, the service we offer for the customers in store. Just like I mentioned in the deck I share about, we believe that the customer expect more in the future. That is the experience of the whole process of consuming. When they get into your store, that was in the old way. When they get into the store, what kind of service they receive? From the people, from the product, from the whole feeling of the space we offer to them. And now also why we put lots of effort and energy to develop all the systems, the non-contact system, because we see that that's the trend. The technology is the future that can help us to improve the experience. And because nowadays people are so familiar with, especially for the young kids, we order everything online, everything is social media. How can we integrate the social media and the new technology to for the young customers' experience of having tea? So we integrated that into our daily, day-to-day sellings business and the product.
Yeah, in a way we can say that the market's probably a lot more familiar and expect a newer way and faster way of doing business. But I wanted to build a bit on the product and talent bit. You mentioned that earlier on you were using profile print and your procurement and R&D really embraced it. I was wondering, were they embracing it immediately from the front or from the outset? Or was there a period of transition? And what was that process like? Or maybe you just hire very innovative people and so you never had this problem to begin with.
Yeah, actually we embraced this technology immediately.
Okay.
As you know, that's of the bubble tea is originated from Taiwan. That's and lots of brand now in Asian countries from Taiwan too. But all of the brand will say that, all the raw materials imported from Taiwan, or all the material from whatever, Tainan or Nantou. But after the lockdown, everybody experienced the challenges that, well, they cannot get all the material because the shipment is closed. The country is closed. How can we maintain the store that have enough raw material to reopen, to maintain their daily operation? And so, and then we need local raw materials. Then how can we find local material without flying to your country? Because nowadays we cannot travel. So this profile prints really do help us. We send a sample, and then the company will help us to diagnose. And then we can just follow the data and to sourcing the equivalent raw materials by not have to really send the people on the ground to do the work.
Right. So I suppose it was immediately embraced partly because it was almost a lifesaver, right? To a very immediate price.
Mm-hmm.
Out of desperation. And I think, Kartika, you asked a question specific to how you use this whole system. I believe the team will be able to privately support you on that. Right. Well, actually, I have another question that's not my own. This time is from a member of the public.
Mm-hmm.
XY Lim asks, do your consumers care or want to know how their tea is sourced? And how does Happy Lemon communicate what it's doing on the sustainability and sourcing front to your customers?
Sorry, I did not follow you. Could you repeat?
Essentially, do your customers care about how their tea is sourced, whether it's sustainable, whether it's fair practice, for example? And how does Happy Lemon express or communicate that to your consumers if they care about this front? ESG.
Most of our customers, they care about the quality. They are not really care about where we are sourcing, how we source. They don't really care. I think that we ourselves care more. As a company, we're trying to, by using the technology, we're trying to source better quality, but fair and reasonable price that we can offer to our franchisee.
Right. Right. So it sounds that right now, at least, although we are seeing consumers become a lot more aware of sourcing,
yes,
ESG, sustainability, it sounds like Yummy Town and Happy Lemon are putting it on yourselves to have a high standard of fair practice in that front. I was hoping to end off with the restaurant question because it's interesting that Yummy Town also has a restaurant, and like you said, restaurants maybe cannot adapt as quickly as bubble tea and so on. Could you share a bit more on that front in case some in our audience would benefit from that experience as well?
Actually, restaurant, we did do the delivery too.
Okay. And was that or did you use the same processes of innovation and tech to help you?
At the restaurant part is not as like innovated as tea business. Restaurant is more like traditional, but we use most of our restaurant is dining. Especially we have Michelin star restaurant, and also have a Korean restaurant. And what we can do is that actually we do the so-called I don't know, in Taiwan we call it a lunch box.
Bento, almost.
Your bento, yeah. We switch all our menu into like bento, which allows us that we can sell it at home. That people, there's no need to go into the store.
Yeah, but Michelin, people go in for the experience and they pay a certain price for that. So when you converted to bento, I'm curious, were you able to command the same price point? How did it impact your messaging and your branding, your experience, and even your profits at the end of the day?
There will be the Michelin bento, and the menu is different. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a Michelin bento, more expensive than normal bentos, but cheaper than the actual Michelin.
Yes.
I love that. Very innovative, even in terms of marketing, right? And messaging.
True.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. I think we all agree that you have shared a phenomenal wealth of experience, and we are looking forward to more of whether it's your robotic Tearistas or cloud kitchens, franchise partners serving us. In closing, Stephanie, is there anything else you would like to share with us? Any call to action maybe, or shout out for what Happy Lemon has on the horizon, what to look out for?
Yeah, I think this is a really very tough time for all the food and beverage business company. What I would like to share is never, there's no need to be losing of faith, because the pandemic will pass anyway eventually.
And so just keep our heads high, being positive and doing what we can to adapt, right?
Right.
Thank you. I think I
Thank
love
you.
that spirit, and I think bubble tea does help enliven and make a lot of people happy during this period of coping. So we want to thank you very much, Stephanie, for sharing your insights with us so openly. And we wish you the very best in adapting
Thank
and
you.
across the world.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephanie.
Bye.
And with that, thank you. And with that, we close day one. I hope you have all gleaned very exciting insights. Again, we had left some notes for you in the chat, and we hope that you have found today extremely insightful. Do come back tomorrow. We'll have another afternoon of lineup. PepsiCo is going to be sharing about their innovation. If you're interested in the science behind it, the metabolomics, the chemometrics of it, the science essentially of what makes profile print and the signature work, then you want to come back tomorrow and listen on as well. So with that, I just wanted to do a huge shout out to every single one of our speakers today, to Steve, to Ellen, to Imran, to Rayhan, and of course to Stephanie, and every single one of you for staying with us from start to finish. So thank you once again. My name is Romy, and it was my absolute pleasure to be your host and moderator for today. Enjoy the E-Trade Expo. Do check out the booths in the interactive event map. Thank you, and we wish you a very pleasant rest of the day ahead.
Ensuring the right quality of ingredients for your business is time-consuming and onerous. To ascertain product suitability, physical samples are often required for buyers to see, touch, and taste. As such, food businesses are heavily dependent on human judgment and are not able to respond effectively during supply chain disruptions. With the advent of a rapid digital food fingerprint technology, the ProfilePrint.com is transforming the way food ingredients are analyzed and sourced. Powered by a patented AI food fingerprint technology, ProfilePrint empowers users to non-destructively analyze ingredients. With just 3 seconds and 10 grams of a sample, ProfilePrint can ascertain its quality and taste profile, resulting in significant savings in time and cost. Connecting users to the global market of ready buyers and skipping the expensive middlemen through ProfilePrint X, a B2B platform that helps buyers and sellers to match, source, and sell more effectively. Created for stakeholders at different stages of the supply chain, food growers, startups, and established conglomerates can ensure ingredient consistency and suitability via the ProfilePrint platform built on accessibility, trust, and transparency. Visit theprofileprint.com to learn more and request for a free trial.